Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Communication Corner with me, your host, Gail Lewis. I'm very excited this afternoon because I have one of my favorite Southeast Queens politicians sharing the stage with me this afternoon, and that is none other than the Honorable Leroy G. Comrie. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Gail. Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm very excited to have you today as we talk about Southeast Queens.
Well, thank you. I'm excited to be here as well. It's always good to be in your presence.
Oh, and what a great way to start off the show. Mm-hmm. So, Councilman Comrie, we've known each other for a few years, yes?
Yes.
And you have been in office since 2002?
Yes, I got elected in 2002, right after the tragedy of 9/11. Unfortunately, that was election day. Mm-hmm. On 9/11, we were campaigning. I was standing outside of a school encouraging people to vote for me when, we heard that a plane hit the tower, and, we were still in the, we were campaigning, so we were in campaign mode, and, I was concerned as to what had happened, but, in the middle of it was kind of surreal because you're at the accumulation of a long campaign. There were 6 opponents that had run against me, and you're all excited, and on a campaign day you're looking for that, you have that adrenaline rush as you're trying to get things done. And we heard, we turned on the radio in the car, and then we heard that another plane hit, and then we knew that our world was changing. And that, clearly the fate of the election probably would not be completed, but we stayed, and, we started to realize what had happened with the intensity of it, and that, truly the tragedy of it, and it was just a very sad day. Mm-hmm. We had to gather up everybody, and we wound up being at the Democratic Club, commiserating what had happened and looking at it on the television, and then making sure that all of our campaign volunteers were collected and brought back to the club, and
spoken for, right?
Spoken for, and just that. Then realizing that we needed to reach out to find out family and friends, and just check where everybody was, and we lost a few people in the district, and a lot of people that constituents knew and the people knew, and it's just a very sad day in this country's history.
Right, and that was at the very beginning for you. That's when you were actually campaigning.
Right.
So to start on that foot, knowing that the world as we know it would never be the same again, and then flash forwarding 12 years later when you're at the end of your term, how has the way that you started, the events that took place on September 11th, 2001, has that changed or set the tone for the past 12 years in your administration?
Oh yeah, it definitely set the tone, because we wanted to make sure that we came in. People expected the city council to fall apart even before 9/11 happened, because it was such a large transition. There were 35 new members coming into the city council.
And for those of us who at home who are not familiar, how many people total are there? So
51,
35 were coming.
Right,
so
51,
35 out of 51. That's significant.
That's a significant transition. There were, the entire Queens delegation was new members. Everyone had been term limited out. So the entire Queens delegation, most of the Brooklyn delegation, most of the Bronx were, in fact, I think the entire Bronx, except for Joe Rivera, were all new members. And there were just a few members in Manhattan and Staten Island, and a couple in Brooklyn that composed the 15 members that were coming
remained.
Back. Right. So they expected the council to fall apart, and I think that really what happened from 9/11 gave us more of a resolve to be focused on making change, to work on resurrecting the city, to make sure that the city would be viable. And we worked and we attended every meeting, every pre-briefing. I went to at least 30 different pre-briefings before I actually got sworn in to learn about different issues. And most of the members, the 35 new members, went as well. And 12 years later, we have definitely impacted the city, and the crime is reduced. In large numbers, we were able to create new programs in the city council that would address issues with education, with immigration, with jobs. With making sure that child care was protected. We've done a lot over the last 12 years. A lot of it hasn't been talked about in larger circles, but we saved many jobs from the cuts from Mayor Bloomberg, because every year he threatened to cut city agencies and city workers' jobs, and we were able to work strategically and work thoughtfully to make sure that we could save those jobs.
And in addition to saving those jobs, what have you done over the past 12 years? You can refresh our memories to also create new ones.
Well, we created the Workforce Initiative program, which we had the first workforce initiative that was located in downtown Jamaica. I was able to convince the city, because of the clear numbers of unemployed in the Jamaica and Queens Central area, Queens South area, that they needed to put the first job development center in Queens. It is located above the old, for old Jamaicans, the old Mays building. Now it's the Marshalls and the Department of Motor Vehicles. People know that as well. And I just found out that across the street now they're going to put in a Planet Fitness in the lot across the street. So
that's exciting.
That is exciting. And now we'll have 3 different gyms in downtown Jamaica where people can take advantage of. But it was important that we had an opportunity for people to come and get training, job development, resume writing, skill building, and also a job bank that the city was in charge of, even though there were other existing job banks already in downtown Jamaica. None of them were managed by the city.
Right, and that one just seems to be so all-inclusive.
Right.
Different types of jobs, different levels of experience, and also just the training that you get in a place like that.
Right.
Everything from basic skills training right up to resume writing, straight into how to interview.
Right, and they do from soup to nuts, and they work with every level of job applicant, from entry-level job to professional jobs to manufacturing jobs, and to jobs dealing with technical issues as well. So and now tech jobs and green jobs, dealing with everything from green roofs to green manufacturing. So
do you think that's where we're going next as far as jobs go?
Into tech and into high tech, definitely. We need to meet the needs of the city. One of the initiatives that I strongly supported that the mayor came up with was the development of Roosevelt Island for Cornell Technion, creating a technical opportunity, a technical school for higher education here, focus on the levels of technology, utilizing all of the new pieces of equipment, all of the new opportunities, all of the new skills that embrace the tech industry and the tech world. And it's been a unparalleled success already, and it hasn't, the first stone hasn't been built yet. They've already started a school. Google shared with them space in downtown Chelsea, and it's already created a boom of a tech industry. Well, now, where New York City is now becoming the number 2 tech center in the country.
Wow, second only to
Silicon Valley.
And speaking of just development, when I think of development, I do think of Jamaica Avenue.
Right.
And part of the district as well, District 27.
Right.
Over the past 12 years, how have you seen Jamaica Avenue change?
Jamaica Avenue has always been a commerce hub for urban wear, a commerce hub for streetwear and things that
urban wear. That's a very nice way of saying it. Right.
And you can get sneakers there. You can get the hip hop clothes. You can get things that people wear to go to school, the young people. And now Jamaica Avenue is even evolving now to where you can get ethnic wear,
right.
Because we have become, Jamaica Avenue has now embraced other cultures, the Hindu community, the Sikh community, the Bangladesh community, South Asian community. You can get clothes from those there. You can always get great church gowns. There's always, plenty. There's always been places to get suits, and there's always places to get your hair products at Jamaica Avenue. And as you may know, Jamaica Avenue is a destination location.
And what do you mean by that?
There are buses that come from all over the East Coast, bringing shoppers to Jamaica Avenue to get those products. Also to get housewares and bedding at lower than normal prices at the department stores, because they've always had those businesses as well. But it's what has happened over the last 12 years. We've had more established stores. Cookies expanded, dealing with children's clothes and schools clothes. We've had the uniforms. The Gap has come in. Models has gotten a larger presence.
K&G.
K&G. The more established sneaker stores have come in, and the other stores as well. And then now we finally have, a real sit-down restaurant. Applebee's has come in, and they've joined downtown Jamaica. It's attracted, the theater has been fully developed, and that has created opportunities to enhance the farmers market, which was built. And also now we have City Rib, which is the newest location.
Where I happened to run into you last evening.
Last evening, yes. And that's why I'm here today. But it's a new location, and we are hoping that other, businesses, sit-down restaurants will open up in downtown Jamaica. And it's been, a busy, you go there to Jamaica Avenue on a Saturday, it's wall-to-wall people.
Right.
That people are shopping, people are picking up their weekly goods and their specialty items and their urban wear.
And in addition to all of those other stores, I know that one of the points on your agenda has been bringing fresh foods and fresh vegetables and also supermarkets into the district as well. How have you done that?
When I was Consumer Affairs Chair, we did a study on, the urban deserts that we have because of the lack of supermarkets in the area, and that because the supermarkets now want larger footprints so that they can have, the meat section here, the fruit section there, the specialty cake section, or, the seafood section. So a lot of the supermarkets in our area could not have 15,000 square feet. They're just not physical property that allows them to do that. So we came up with the idea of creating green carts and fruit carts where people could come and get fresh fruit, right in the downtown Jamaica in areas that were, as we called, grocery starved, not having a full-size grocery store. So, we were able to do that. It's been wildly successful. It's moved all over the city, and other states have picked up on it as well. And because of the successful green cart, we've also been able to expand the opportunity for people to do food carts as well. They haven't come into downtown Jamaica as much yet. They're just starting to. If you notice, a lot of halal carts are coming
So
into
food carts,
downtown.
food trucks, or
food
both?
Trucks,
Food
trucks, food carts, where people are selling homemade products or products that they're making. Around the city, the food truck has really expanded and become a real cottage industry where you have people that are making really fancy and interesting foods.
Gourmet food on a truck.
From anywhere from, macaroni and cheese to tacos and empanadas and full meals. There's you can get any type of cuisine on a food cart and a food truck nowadays. And we hope that more of those come into downtown Jamaica as well. And then also, when I was Consumer Affairs Chair, realizing that we had a dearth in opportunities, we created a tax incentive for people to locate grocery stores in areas that were already underutilized utilized or where we didn't have to have enough stores in the area. So we created a tax incentive for you to open a grocery store, even if you opened it in a small as an 8,000 square foot space.
Which is tiny in comparison to a large,
large mega Stop and Shop or Pathmark, where they're looking at 20,000 square feet. So we're giving people a tax incentive to come into smaller spaces, and that has created opportunities for new stores, to new people to come in and start stores in other areas. So it's been wildly effective, and I've been very proud of that as one of the initiatives that I've been able to create in the City Council.
Prior to this, were people shopping in their local drugstores?
The drugstore phenomenon as a shopping has evolved over the last 4 to 5 years also. Drugstores used to be primarily just the drugs, the vitamins, sundry items. Now you have drugstores that are actually starting to sell salads and fresh foods and other perishable grocery, and they've gotten larger footprints as well to make up with it. And it's been very available, making those things the way you can get fresh fruit at your local drugstore or quick meal at your local drugstore as well.
So we looked at the last 12 years, which have been exciting, and I want to touch more on them. But can we also look forward to the future?
Right.
This is 2013 because these shows run forever, so we have to make sure people know what year this is.
Okay.
This is 2013.
Right.
So at the end of this year, December 31st,
I'll be ending my time as council member of the 27th Council District. I've been honored to, serve the community for these past 11 years and 9 months, and my last 3 months are something that I look forward to, saying goodbye to people and wrapping up some other issues and preparing the way for my successor, Mr. Danique Miller, who I'm proud that got elected, in a strong competitive race with our candidates that have spent time in the community. He was able to prevail and be elected to the City Council.
So what's next for you, Councilman?
I honestly haven't made any decisions on what my future is yet. I've been listening to people. I'm humbled that folks have reached out to me with some ideas and some options and some things that they want me to think about. Getting involved in both private sector and public sector. So, like I said, I just came off the election on Tuesday. I'm still really dealing with the, not running for borough president, and but I'm fortunate that I was able to, get someone I think will be a strong representative for the 27th Council District elected. But I'm waiting to figure it out. I'm going to put it to prayer. I'm going to listen to some advice from other people. Other people want to talk to me this week about some things they want me to think about getting involved in. So, I'm open-ended on what I'm going to do right now.
Okay. Anything you want to share with us? You said private and public.
I don't want to, I'll keep it private for now because you don't want to jinx anything. Or
I'm just trying to get the scoop.
But I understand. I appreciate that. But I'd rather not go into in-depth. But, I've honored that, some people have thought that I've had a productive role in the City Council, and, they think that I'm someone that they can work with. Some of the offers have been to join with people in their prospective businesses.
So you're open to a lot of different options right now?
I'm open to listening to everything. If you can't stay flexible, you can't move forward. And, I'm really looking to think about what is the best for me to do in this stage of my life.
Would you rule out running for office again in a different capacity, perhaps on the state or federal level?
I've learned never to rule out anything. So, do I want to, embrace that and make that an emphasis? I have not worked on that at all. I know that I've been very humbled by the fact that people want me to stay in public service. A lot of people have reached out to me and indicated to me that they are sorry that I'm leaving.
That you're term limited, let's say that.
I'm term limited, right, and that they want me to stay in public service, stay involved in the community. Wherever I wind up, I will make sure that I'm still an active, engaged member in the major issues in this community and in service to people that need advice and help.
And part of that service was everything that you did in the last election. So that was the primary election that took place this past week, September 10th, right? Right. The September primary election here in Southeast Queens. There were quite a few people running. And the person that you backed, Danique Miller, he ultimately won. So how'd you get involved with Danique? Tell us about that campaign.
Well, I've known Danique Miller, for the better part of 20 plus years.
Really?
I worked with him. Danique has been a person that's always been community-minded. He's always been involved with community activities. He's always helped out with projects in the area. He worked with me back in the Jesse Jackson campaign. We went to the Million Man March.
Run, Jesse, run.
Yeah. So he was active there. He was active in the Dinkins campaign. We went to the Million Man March together with Reverend Davis and St. Albans Presbyterian Church.
Right, that was years ago.
Yeah, so, he's been on every major issue in the community. He's been active. He's been a legislative leader for his union, Local 1056 ATU. He became president of that local. He helped me when I ran for school board. He was very active in my campaign in 2001, and he's been very active in every elected official's activities in Southeast Queens and major nonprofits as well. He's been supporting. So he's a known entity to many of us that are, in the political, nonprofit, cultural community in Southeast Queens. So, I wanted to make sure that the person that succeeded me in office was someone that could be adept at the issues, that would be able to communicate them at a high level. With the 51 members in the city council, you have to be able to communicate, you have to be able to be respected. Danique is a respected union leader now. He's been, as a union president, the only union president to get a contract for his employees and retirees as well in this last 4 years in the administration. And he was able to gain child care for his union, was able to look at the contracts and what was being expended within the MTA, and was able to let the MTA realize that they could cut out certain things and create opportunities to use that money for child care, which would then save them money and help enhance their productivity, which is what they're always trying to do. So with his skill set, I knew that he would be an excellent person to replace me. I went to him a year ago and asked him to, and he was more concerned. He said no to me, actually.
Really?
He wanted to, stay on as president, but I pressed, and other people pressed, Reuben Wills, Corey Terry, and Rodney Pride, and other people that he reached out to, and and they told him it was a good idea. We've got Barbara Clark involved, and she got excited about the idea of him running because he's been working with Assembly Member Barbara Clark, for many years, and we got him engaged, and the rest is history. It was, it was
sounds like a team effort.
Well, it had to be a team effort. We wound up running him and running against 6 candidates, plus an independent expenditure, the Jobs for New York, which came down on the side of one candidate in particular and spent over $400,000 on that candidate trying to get him elected. They spent over $340,000 just enhancing his race, and then another $80,000 in negative mailings against 2 other candidates. Fortunately, Danique has a strong union background, so we were able to get every major union to support him, and they put some money in the race, but it was, we had $138,000 in, my understanding, in independent expenditures. I'm still not sure of that number. It was somewhere around $138,000 to $150,000 they spent trying to help him. But they were doing member-to-member union mailings, member-to-member phone calls, letting the union members know that the UFT and DC 37 and 1199 and the other unions, every major union in the city, Danique has worked with, and they were happy to endorse him.
Wow.
But, still, we had to go up against a large force that was working against us. And, we were able to show a clear message, a clear vision for him, and that, he's someone that has put time in on the ground with people.
He's not new.
He's not new, and, he's battle tested, and he's ready.
Wow. What would you say over the last 12 years, sir, is your greatest accomplishment in the district?
I've been blessed to have a few. I've been able to improve every park in my district with major capital upgrades. I've been blessed to improve every school in my office with, every school, in my district with, major upgrades, either library expansions, auditorium expansions, playground, computer labs. The main priority of every principal in my district over the last 12 years has been taken care of by myself. I was able to build a library in Comrie Heights.
Yes,
which
brand
is
new from the ground up.
Brand new from the ground up, But I think that the two things that I'm most proud about is all the people that we were able to mentor in my office, all of the volunteers. We had over 300 people come in and spend time as interns in my office.
Really, over the last 12 years, over 300 of us, because I was an intern once as well.
And to get them involved and engaged and active and, understanding that government is for people and that people should not be afraid of government, but they should embrace government and be involved in government. The thing that, I was trying to do most is to get more people working in government, more people to be activists about government, more people to be unafraid to approach people to fight for their needs in government. And I'm very proud of that. And the other thing that I'm proud of in the city council that I started was my nonprofit workshops that we started, where we taught people how to be nonprofits. One of the things that I realized from just watching other districts was the amount of nonprofits that can control programming, that can help people, which really makes a difference. And especially in a latchkey community like ours, where we have so many people that are getting out of school at 1 o'clock and their parents are getting home at 7. There's a gap in services that needs to be filled. It should be filled by the Board of Education, but it's not. So we've had to create a lot of small nonprofits because with latchkey kids, they're not going to take the bus from Hollis to go to Springfield Gardens, because they got to get back to the home in a certain time. Or they're not going to take the bus from, Comrie Heights necessarily to go to Rochdale. It's just too difficult. You
so
can't
they have
do
to
it.
be local.
The programs have to be local, and the programs have to be small. So I was very proud of all of the nonprofit programs that I started.
And we are so proud of you.
Well, I'm happy that, I've had good people around me. I've had a lot of volunteers that have helped, put with our programming. I've had some volunteers that have been with me from my election day to today and through tomorrow that are willing to be part of everything. And the other thing that I'm very proud of, we started the family days in the parks where we had a tradition every year.
And the parks as well. And we could talk for another hour about this. And true. Unfortunately, time is not on our side today.
Time is up already.
Yeah, but I would like to thank you so much, Councilman Comrie, for coming on this afternoon on Communication Corner. And thank you all for watching another episode of Communication Corner with the Honorable Leroy G. Comrie. As we wrap up, thanks so much for watching. As you know, you can always email me, Gail Lewis, newday2010@yahoo.com. Thanks so much for watching and have a great afternoon. We'll see you soon. Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Yeah.